Hello, West Ham Network. It's Holly, and I'm here with some breaking news that Paqueta has, in fact, been cleared of spot fixing charges almost 2 years after the investigation was launched. But he has also been found to have failed to have complied with the investigation, which still puts a little bit of a question mark over things. But all in all, it's good. So let's have a little chat about it. Yes, West Ham Network. So as we said, it's good news. Lucas Paqueta has been cleared of those spot fixing charges. If you're new around here, make sure you like and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts on the whole Paqueta saga down below in the comments. But it brings up a lot of questions and a lot of discussions to be had around the whole innocent before being proven guilty side of things. So we're just going to read through one of the articles that is on the Evening Standard at the moment and just have a little chat about it. So like I said, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you've subscribed so you never have to miss an update. So as we know, in May last year, he was charged by the FA, and then that has to be investigated, and you're either found guilty or innocent. And this was because it was thought that he was trying to influence the betting markets by getting his cards. But these have not been proven in the case. And he has been found, like I said, to have failed to comply with the investigation, but he has denied that. So this is an interesting part in terms of whether or not he was useful in the investigation or whether he sort of dragged his heels a bit. So that's what he has been found guilty of. He actually had a comment. He said, "Since the first day of this investigation, I've maintained my innocence against these extremely serious accusations. I can't say anything more at this time, but I would like to express how grateful I am to God and how eager I am to return to playing football with a smile on my face. To my wife who never let go of my hand, to West Ham United, to the fans who always cheered me on, and to my family, friends, and the legal team who've supported me, thank you for everything." So that's a very nice statement, to be honest. And there's been a lot of discussion going on around, first of all, Graham Potter talking about Paqueta still being a really good person in the dressing room, still staying focused despite everything going on. But the hope from fans and the hope from me personally is that without this whole saga looming over his head, he's going to be able to perform a lot better. And we therefore don't need to accept any reduced bids for him. And he's saying thank you to West Ham. It looks as though he is grateful to the club for sticking by him, grateful for the fans for never turning their backs despite the accusations. And it's almost like a new stage of his football career where he could potentially go on and do really good things at West Ham and get back to his best, because we know he's got that in his locker. We know he's been so good for us. So the charges that he was being investigated for, they were between November 2022 and August 2023. And they were basically saying he was affecting the betting market with his actions on the pitch, as we know. And at the time, he said that he was shocked and he was really surprised and upset by the FA's decision. But the Independent Regulatory Commission on Thursday have basically come to this conclusion. We obviously waited a while as well, because that was another point that sort of brings up how dragged out this whole saga has been. Even once there was a verdict, it's taken a very long time to be actually made public. So what is going to be an interesting debate is that while he's been found innocent, it means that there's been no evidence that he's done the things that he was accused of. The FA have said that he has not provided the necessary information when requested during the investigation process. They have said Lucas Paqueta was charged with 2 breaches of FA Rule F3 in relation to alleged failures to comply with his obligations to answer questions and provide information to the FA's investigation. Lucas Paqueta denied the charges against him, but the Regulatory Commission found them to be proven following the hearing. The Regulatory Commission will decide an appropriate sanction for these breaches at the earliest opportunity. The earliest opportunity is one of those where, again, we're not going to know whether that's in a year or two. But it's a big shame that when he hasn't done anything in the law, of the eyes of the law, he's been proven to be innocent, but the actual investigation side of it, it sounds as though he wasn't providing things. There were rumors, obviously, about him not providing his phone at the right time or something like that. And I assume that that is what this is linked to. But it feels like a real shame if he's then going to be given a sanction for taking too long to provide whatever they needed for something that he was then proven innocent of. However, that is where we find ourselves. I wonder what this could mean in terms of where he goes next, because if I'm another club looking on and still knowing that there is a sanction coming for him not complying with an investigation, my worry is that that could be a relatively lengthy ban potentially, which might again either drop his value or put other clubs off wanting him. But I spoke about this in my video the other day. I want us to keep Pakqueta. I know that he is a talented player. Deep down, I know that with everything going on, his form's dropped. But whose form wouldn't? Like, imagine trying to focus at work when you're being accused of what he's been accused of and basically told that everything you've worked for your entire life, you might never play football again. So imagine keeping your eyes on the ball, training well, resting, recovering, all the things you need to do to play at the top level of football. How on earth can you do that with all that going on? I would hope that he's spoken about being grateful to West Ham for sticking by him. I feel like he wants to prove himself, and I would love to see Pakqueta in claret and blue, or more claret, because there's not much blue on the shirt, is there, next season? But actually just prove everyone what he's capable of still. Because when he has played at his best, he's been fun, exciting, confident, and it just felt like we saw all those things wiped out of him over the last season or so. And with that, the dip in form, and obviously with that comes frustration from fans. So I would love to see him do really well at West Ham, and then at the end of next season, whether he's played incredibly and he wants to go elsewhere and we make a profit that way, or whether we go, you know what, we tried it, because we don't want to be parting with him for 30, 40, 50 mil. There've been reports that we'll be holding out for 60, which is music to my ears. But which clubs will pay 60 for a player that is apparently still going to be actually charged with failing to comply with an investigation? I don't even know what that looks like in terms of how long he might be out for something like that. So that brings up a whole new challenge in terms of trying to sell him, because you're still trying to sell what is essentially a tainted player who hasn't done anything wrong, as this investigation has found, other than maybe not helping during that investigation. So it's definitely a complicated one. The main thing, though, is he has been proven innocent. The spot fixing charges are not guilty, which means that he's not going to be getting that lifetime ban. He's not completely going to be written off. And yeah, he didn't do it. Lucas Paqueta is innocent, which I'm delighted to say. So the big question I've got for everyone watching this today: where do we go from here? Do you want us to see us keep Pakqueta? Do you want to see Pakqueta starting? Do you think he needs to work his way back into the squad? And yeah, what would you like to see us do? Would you rather say we got a bid for 50 million? Would you hold out and say no, 60 million, or go elsewhere because we're keeping him? Or do you think that 50 million could be used to bring somebody else in? Because the other side of it is you do wonder whether he's just done with the FA and wants to leave English football, because I imagine the way that everything's been dealt with and the fact that things are still dragging on, if I was him, I'd probably be like, I don't really fancy being around these people that could just kill my career off when I didn't do anything. So I wonder whether he might be somewhat keen to head overseas. But at the same time, I think he is grateful to the club. I think he loves the fans. I'm sure he remembers the good times with West Ham. And I think if we can get him back performing at his best, Lucas Pakqueta, mark my words, might eat them in a couple of months. Lucas Pakqueta could actually play a big part in helping us to just have a bit of creativity on the pitch, give us some more squad depth, and show us that side of him that was so exciting every time he got on the ball back seasons past. So yeah, that is the latest update. Lucas Pakqueta cleared of spot fixing charges. We'll have to see what that means about him not complying with the investigation. But for now, the main bit has been written off. We are in the clear in terms of that. If you're new around here, like I said, please make sure you subscribe. And if you haven't already, hit the like button, drop your comments down below. And I'm going to be having a look in the comments and replying to all of you about everything Lucas Pakqueta, because this has been a long drawn out saga. If we were to talk about how many videos we have had in relation to this, from the initial shock of the investigation to the slight updates, to hearing that he was innocent but not having an update, to finally having this, hopefully this means we can all put it to bed. On West Ham Network, Lucas Pakqueta, everyone can just sleep soundly tonight, knowing that that is not a ticking time bomb and that the situation is not going to go horrifically from this point. So, good news for West Ham fans. And the main thing is, at one point, we thought we had an £80 million player that had gone from just about to complete that 80 million move to City to being not worth anything because he's never going to play again. 80 million of loss for a club, from a selfish club perspective, I suppose, is humongous in terms of what that does for who you can bring in transfer windows, and how much it affects not one transfer window, but multiple years. So from every way you look at it, this is incredible news, because it means we're not going to be on the back foot. Lucas Paqueta can play. Hopefully he can play well for us. If not, he can go elsewhere, hopefully at a fair price. So it's just good news. It's good news all round. But most importantly, I'm really happy for Paqueta that he's got justice for something that he's been proven innocent of, and that it's now out in public that he didn't do it, because I'm sure this brought hell to every area of his life. So all round, we've done it. Well done, Lucas Paqueta, for making it through that. And until next time, leave your comments, subscribe, like, and let us know as well what you would like to see in upcoming games. If you haven't already as well, make sure you join the West Ham Network fantasy football team. Completely forgot what I was trying to say there, because we have indeed got fantasy football coming up. We do the league every single season, and it's always really fun. I'm going to pop it in just here so that you can all see what we're talking about. But there are prizes to be won every single month. The West Ham Network Fantasy Football League. Here is the code. So you need to either go on the web version or download the app. Make your team, because you can't join leagues until you make your team. So make your team, even if you just do it with placeholders. Do the random selection, stick random players in there, whatever you need to do to make sure you use that code so you are in the league from the start of the season, so that you have the chance to win prizes every single month. And it's always really fun. We do updates in the videos, so it's all coming. It's all coming. It's going to be a good season. It's going to be fun. It's going to be eventful, but that's what we're here for. You never know. You never know. We might win the league. So that's all for me for now. Have a great day. And until next time, come on, you Irons. Irons.